Welcome to another edition of the Motley Croc Show. It is 3:23:23, so that's kind of a good number.
It is, really.
And we have Jeff waiting in the back. Brittany's going to be in at 8:15, so what we're going to do is we're going to get started and get everybody in from the back room. What's up, Reptile Nerd, the Manic Satanic? How you living, buddy?
What's going
I'm
on, man?
living good, man. I just flipped over to night shift, so I'm officially a creature of the night.
Creature of the night.
Got
How's
home
that
from work
for you?
at 7:30 this morning. I love it, man. I love it. It's, the world is kind of quiet.
The world is quiet lately. Not for a lot of us, but the world's pretty quiet.
It depends what's going on that night, though, Jeff.
Oh, dude, I've seen some shit, man. This week, I've seen some shit.
I have too. There's been a lot of stuff out there too in the actual media itself. I think we're some of the the farting healers.
Yeah,
Party healers. I have not seen.
Yeah.
Listen, man, I sent you a little bit of that where this guy, I guess there's just like this preacher guy, but he has to fart into their nostrils to heal them with his Christian powers. What's up, Jamie? How you doing?
Christian ass powers. Hey, Jamie.
I know it doesn't. It's the
Hi,
weirdest thing.
Jamie.
It doesn't make any sense at all. I mean, you know what I'm saying?
It seems kind of counterproductive, to be honest. If I'm feeling sick, the last thing I want is a face full of Christian farts.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or any farts for that matter.
So I'm definitely bringing that up on my sister. What's up, Joshua? The night comes alive where I live, and not for the weak of heart.
Yeah,
That's right.
gosh, in the hospital, it gets crazy. I worked in trauma neuro ICU last night, and it was
Boy,
it was
that is crazy.
You get a lot of a good. Oh shit, man! I wish I was drinking with y'all. Yeah, we got a
I kind of wish you were too, Joe.
Yep.
self-inflicted GSW to the face.
Oh, damn.
And he blew his jaw apart, so it was like he looked like the Predator.
Fucking awesome.
Face, dude.
Did we get the pictures?
I did not. Unfortunately, I can't take pictures. And plus, he was bandaged up. But then the cops got there and shot him a couple times too. So because he was waving him around, so, like insult to injury, man. And the guy lived. Yeah, I'll tell you what. He had really nice tattoos and stuff. I was like, damn, dude, what a waste.
I wonder what made him do that.
Yeah.
A girl. Surprise, surprise.
It was a girl. I thought it would have been like bad mushrooms.
Yeah.
Maybe the girl served him bad mushrooms.
A lot of people, like when we discuss things. What's up, Michael? How are you doing, buddy? Everybody's like, oh, how come you're not more sensitive? I mean, but why should we be more sensitive? Like when Flavio I had that conversation. Why should I be more sensitive? If somebody does that to themselves, it's not me. I didn't get up and make them do it.
Yeah, dude.
To me,
I feel bad for the guy kind of because the guy, he's still like, as soon as you patch me up, I'm going to fucking off myself. So the hospital spends, $500,000 keeping this dude alive.
Yeah.
And then he just goes and does it again. And no.
I know, because that's going to really make him want to stay alive after now having those issues.
What usually happens with guys like that is since they're, they're cleaned up or whatever they want to call it, they end up going around and preaching. Most of them find God, and then they talk about how suicide's a bad thing. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Got to be careful using that word on here because they bump me off. So unlifing yourself, my friend. They'll find out it's a bad thing, and then they go speak about it, and they go, oh, look what happened to me. I tried, and I fucked up. But I agree. If I did that and I failed, I'm coughing, not laughing.
Yeah. No, he is coughing. That's not laughter.
A little bit of both. If I did that, I would finish the job next time around. I mean, let's just.
Oh, dude. I like, first of all, you gotta, first of all, he called and told everybody. And then, I mean,
I think he kind of aimed it this way just so he could live. And
that's what I'm thinking is that
I think he thought the bullet would go through the tongue area.
I guess it was a shotgun, and then he had a handgun. It was craziness, man.
A shotgun, you know how that goes. I've seen a lot of that.
His face should be pasted to the ceiling. If he really wanted to do it, man, put that shit in your mouth, and you ain't living. There's no way.
Or just right here, at least right here, just clean from ear to ear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or just the bottom of your neck, right through the back. It'll sever your spine.
Yeah.
So I don't know why people try to do that anyways. I mean, I guess I'm sorry. I mean, I think suicide can be it's a dark place, and I think that's crazy. It's selfish though. It's a selfish thing to do.
It is.
It is to your loved ones, and
because that person has a mother or father usually, or somebody, even if it's just a friend that cares about them. And I think that's the Craig Warren. What's going on, homie? Good to see you.
Craig?
Good to see you, Mr. Craig. Good to see you.
Yep.
So I mean, those types of situations, I guess. I don't know, man. I'm not too sympathetic anymore. I was when I was older, but I gotten older now, and I've just seen,
Well, I think we've known people that's done that and had friends with it, and it just gets to the point. It's like, why? You don't know what they're going through, but it sucks that
it's so permanent.
it gets to that point, in my opinion.
Yeah, it does.
So,
I think that's not even opinion. I think that's a fact. If you have to get to that point, it's really sad.
Yeah.
A lot of people who survived it have said the same thing, that they regretted it instantly and are glad they survived. And it's but then you got to live. I mean, they put this guy's face together like champs. He looks, they even lined his beard up and shit. I heard. I didn't see him with the bandages, but it's pretty impressive.
Imagine if it was a girl and you can't really grow a beard. I mean, well, you can get pills and stuff, but you can't really grow a beard and cover that up. I mean, that's kind of
true.
But just think, like, before he had done that, if he would have talked to that farting preacher and just sniffed a few of them farts,
he would have been healed right away.
Maybe that's a new business venture.
Bro, when you said that to me, I didn't even know what to say. Like, honestly,
I know, but that's the real thing.
I was like,
this man does that.
And people fucking probably pay him a fortune to do it, man.
I just don't understand what kind of a person would pay to do it.
A desperate person.
I mean, but think about it. I've been in some desperate spots, but I don't think I would.
No, a person who likes to sniff farts, maybe. I don't know.
Because so I guess if you're in that state of mind, right? Like, so if you're like really, really messed up, and you're like at the end of your rope, I understand. But there's not. Those people dress up, go to that church, dance around, get in there, and get a nice. He's like, and they're sniffing it in, thinking they're getting healing.
Right.
God, he gets over them too. He like squats down on them. You can see like his ball bag, like in his silk pants, and they're like on the ground like this. And they cross their hands. Like I researched it, I found it all. And they cross their hand. He like squats down. He talks, and I'm like, and they get up and like, oh, and they run off. I'm like, this is not real, but it's real. Like that's a real fucking thing. We're laughing at it. What's up, buddy? Look at that doggy. We're laughing at it, but that's like a real thing.
Oh, dude, I believe it, man. I feel worse for the people that are so desperate. I mean, I've been in some fucked up positions and had my back against the wall plenty of times, and there was never a time when I was like, man, I wish I had some fucking preacher to blow in my face, dude. No way, In fact,
that's fucking weird, though, right?
Yeah, just a little bit.
Slightly off a little bit, dude.
Yeah, no, it's definitely, and it's the fact that at this point in our history, people will fall for just about anything. I mean, people are so desperate.
It'll only take 2 or 3 people to say it worked, and that's it. Right. It's gonna just happen.
Like I couldn't smell until the guy farted in my face.
Exactly.
It's a miracle. Hallelujah.
He smells like shit, but I'm smelling again.
What's up, TJ? Good to see you here, homie.
Hey, TJ.
This guy was actually, though, but you have to understand that this guy was taking scriptures from the Bible and comparing it to why he be, passing gas in people's face. Like he was using like the spirit enters the body through the whatever, and then I guess it goes through the lower intestine over that meat patty he had that night before. Yeah, I mean, can you flavor it up, man? Could you eat like cinnamon apple stuff
and give different flavors?
Yeah, man. Like do it up good, man. But have some hemp smell, maybe a little bit of sage, so you feel like it's there.
Probably it's nothing but like corn chips and broccoli, dude.
Oh God, flavor of the month.
So what happens when you run out and someone's laying up there really fucked up? You're like, oh, I want to grow my legs back. So I'd like to go there. I'd like to get someone that has no legs, and I want to go there. I would love to go there and say, I want you to do this in his nose. Okay. Do this in his nose. I want to see his legs grow back. If his legs grow back right in front of you right now, you can fart in my mouth and I'll eat it.
I mean, you may not grow legs, but that shit will grow some hair on your chest.
That's right.
Yeah. But if it grew legs, I'm eating it. I don't care. I will eat a fart.
And on the 8th day, God blew ass.
If it did that, yes.
Exactly. If I saw him, he's like, oh my God, Jimmy, his legs are growing. Give me some. Yeah. I mean, you got to understand, but for the most part of that, I think that's absolutely unacceptable, man. Like who?
Yeah, it's crazy. I
mean, there's so many things that go on out there in the world, but I can't really knock it because I don't know where it's at. But if it was in America, good for you, man. It's freedom. Do what you want.
Yep, damn right, man. Hey, it's free enterprise. If you can get people to pay for farting in their face, I mean, first of all, you got an endless supply. No overhead.
He actually bottles it. It says in the article that he bottles it. He bottles it up for people to huff.
Yeah.
You can get preacher fart in a bottle. Legit. So he's like, wait, and he's like putting the lock on that motherfucker, and then people are taking it home like, hallelujah.
Does he call it fart water?
Hey, but I mean, you guys are laughing, but I'm telling you that you think about it. I'm showing you that someone.
I can imagine. When you just did that, I can imagine those people at home doing that.
Yeah, they're like, oh my god,
right? Like, oh my farts are here.
You just have to open this up right here.
Instead of,
oh my god, what was that? I mean, but they're really doing it. Like that's like I know because I collected a bunch of owl pellets and I sealed them in a jar and I put them in the sun a little bit and we saved them for like a month. And then I did the smell challenge with Cody. And man, first when I opened it up in the house, I should have never done that. Never done that. The walls grew hair. I couldn't even believe how bad that was. So we got outside, and I mean, so I know. Can you imagine a bottle up fart?
No. Wait, so the smell challenge, did you smell them and Cody smell them, or did you just make Cody smell that shit?
No, I had them in the cabinet, and I go, man, I wonder if they're ready. And I cracked the bottle a little bit. It was like, I heard it said, I'm like, oh, no. Holy shit, we're trying to screw it back on. And it's one little out the side, bro, blew the whole house off. So I'm like, we'll film it, but we got to go outside. So I'm like, do it, Cody. So if you guys go to the Motley Croc Show TikTok, it's on there.
It's hilarious. If you haven't seen it, it's well worth it.
Yeah, I didn't know there was a Motley.
You did a good job.
TikTok, so I got to get on that shit, man.
Yeah, he did that one, and he did the.
There was a couple different ones.
He did some good ones there. The onion challenge, where he like bit into the onion, try to chew it. And he's
did
like,
it work?
So, but yeah, he does good. And then there was one I think we did on YouTube. It was like the bacon soda challenge and the ranch and chicken soda.
Oh God!
We did that. I was like, okay, I can't do that. And Cody's like, oh, it was good. I mean, people like that, man. They like to see that. You know,
has he done the Tide Pod challenge yet?
Oh God, is that even a thing? I mean, I know people get
it was.
It was, yeah.
It was, yeah.
What could that possibly do for you?
It killed people. That's exactly.
I understand
what
that, but what was the story to make you go, "Hey, do you want to sit down tonight and have some Tide?"
No,
Jimmy's like, no.
Well, there must be the same people that sniff the farts.
Jimmy's like, no, I prefer game.
Jimmy, you should do the the alligator's mouth challenge.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll have game. Someone's like, well, I do cheer. No, I stick with Tide. It's original.
Yeah,
I just don't understand how stuff like that gets started. To me, doesn't make any sense.
No, dude. And then like the real cheap people do the Publix detergent challenge.
Yeah, fucking A, God.
Yeah, you know what it is though? It's social Darwinism, dude. It's survival of the less idiotic. You know, they people that eat Tide Pods. I mean, what redeeming value could they have other than getting rid of your old Tide Pods? You know, seriously.
Oh, I thought you were going to say what redeeming value could a human has that does is absolutely nothing. You're better off standing in front of a truck.
Yeah, dude. Oh, is that a new necklace? That cross?
At least it happens.
What's that?
Is that a new necklace? The cross?
Oh, yeah. It's one of my new ones. Yep.
Nice, dude.
One made. Yep.
That's dope. I like it.
Thank you, man. Works pretty good. I'm sure it'll piss someone off.
Oh, yeah. That's what I like about it.
Me too. They're like, what is that? I can't believe that. They're, oh, man. Hating y'all currently trapping, got a female in the back. Listen, don't tell us what you're doing with young women in the back. If you're trapping them, what do you mean by trapping young women?
Damn, Dan. Keep that shit off this show, bud.
Yeah.
Dan, are you going to kill that female when you're done with it, or what are you doing?
He's in there.
Shh.
He'll probably
waiting on Dan. But yeah, I think all joking aside, guys, he's probably catching alligators with his friend Benjamin. So.
Yep.
Catching
gators. Well, at least I hope so.
Yeah, because hating y'all currently trapping, got a female in the back. That's just, I mean, hell, I'm going to put that up for everybody. I think that's worth looking at. There he is. That's his image.
We can use that.
Ram in the back of an alligator in that picture. Looks like he's like, and it's screaming for its life. It looks like. But I don't know. I mean, I could be wrong. I don't know.
He's trying to get the alligator to do the Tide Pod challenge.
That's right.
I'm waiting. I wonder. He said he got that post from you. He said, "Oh, I saw Jimmy pose the picture like that one time." So there's a picture of you actually doing like that, holding the alligator's mouth open, and he wanted to be like you.
Perfect.
I looked at a picture of him when he was like 12 years old the other day. It was funny. He was standing with you.
Oh yeah.
It's pretty cool. He was like a little guy.
I actually just saw it too on my phone.
He does. He does some cool stuff like that once in a while. So yeah, he's probably catching alligators, guys. You know, because that's kind of what we're doing here. What time is it, by the way? It's 8:15. Where's Brittany? She said she was coming in.
8:15.
It's small. Gonna let it go. All right, that's good, man. How'd you know it was a female, Dan? You fingered him again, or because we know you're called Gator Finger. Danny Duncan named him Gator Finger.
It was not a James Bond movie starring Dan Gatorfinger.
Yep, Gator Finger, starring Dan Bond.
Dan Bond.
But yeah, Brittany, come on, man. Where are you and what are you doing? I know my mom's sitting there going, Brittany, hurry up. She must be doing something. She said 8:15. Tired of this tardy stuff.
Waiting on you.
Blame it on kids. Jeff, you got kids. You never blame it on your kids.
I don't blame it on my kids, man. My kid knows. I'll forget. She'll be like, Dad, your show's in 15 minutes. I'm like, cool.
Ice cubes in his index is what he said, folks. He said ice cubes in his index.
I'm not sure what that means, but is that illegal?
Okay. I know, because I mean, there's been no mention of alligator hating y'all. Currently trapping, got a female in the back. It's small, gonna let it go. Ice cubes on my index finger.
Yeah, I know. He needs to just stop.
You're gonna get us kicked off of here if you're not careful with that shit, Dan.
Dan, right. Can you just write alligator just real quick?
Right. SWAT is currently on their way to Dan's house.
Yeah, and they'll show up and he'll be up there dressed up like Spider-Man with a lightsaber, because they cross those universes.
Talking about Spider-Man, I pulled into my driveway a couple days ago. There's an RV at a house driving into my driveway. There's two kids dressed up in Spider-Man costumes standing on top of the RV, and they're just waving at everybody as they go by.
I thought you were going to say Jacob was running around in a Spider-Man costume shooting webs at people.
No, it was hilarious, though. It was just so random.
They're like,
yeah, they're just waving. It was random.
I like him because Jimmy and I were in Hollywood, so we drove out to Hollywood. What's up, Seth? We drove out to Hollywood one time. There are some major overweight Spider-Man on Hollywood Boulevard.
Yes. Yes.
I mean, that's not. I mean, that's. I don't. Would you, if you were there, like, oh,
that's
son,
like me dressed up as Spider-Man,
or any one of us,
around.
or any one of us. But what would you? I mean, would you say, hey, son, do you want to go over and take your with Tarantula Man?
Exactly.
Right. They keep your.
I mean, would you even bother taking? Like, if somebody came up really realistic, like a couple times, there's guys out there. Yeah, Spider Pig. That's right, Seth. There's a couple guys out there that are like dressed up as these characters, and they're really good.
Yeah,
we saw them.
Yeah,
like the Batman was. I mean, you're like, wow, that's pretty good stuff. And then here comes Blubberman.
Yeah,
like Spider-Man, like his back was showing. He had that hair in a canyon on his back, and then like he safety pinned the front down, so it would I don't know what he was doing.
If you like to people watch, which I enjoy doing.
Me too.
That is where it's at. That is where it's at.
Oh my God.
We had a blast. And Flavio, let me tell you something. Flavio, he was with us, bro.
Oh man. I never thought I would ever see this, but I saw it when I was there. And I think y'all know what I mean when I say little person.
Yep.
As Aquaman.
Sorry.
Aquaman, dude. Pocket size Aquaman.
That's awesome, dude.
I'm telling you, see some stuff you just can't even believe it. So like at Universal Studios, when we're in costume, so I think it was 2003, we did the Carnage, where we were Venom and we had to dress up. But you have to wear these things that hide your genitalia. Kind of like a cup, but it's not. It's like this really weird kind of stuff. And you got to take your bird and shove the head flat, and then you tuck into it and it makes it round, whatever, so you can wear this costume so you don't have frog eyes or camel toe or anything like that. It's weird because it's kind of uncomfortable because someone's holding your button in all night and you're like, oh, I just want to stretch it out. But in Hollywood, when they do it, or at Comic-Con or MegaCon, they don't wear those cups, dude. Some guys will walk around with their dong on one side, like they're like standing next to children doing little pictures with kids, and like the pictures there, and you can see the religion. Some are smooth, obviously they're not Jewish, and then there's other one. I mean, so it's like you can read their religion. It's just the weirdest shit sometimes. That people do, right? That's what people do.
Speaking of little people, I just sent you guys a picture of Mini Kiss. They're a little fucking Kiss cover band.
Oh my God, that is the coolest thing. I will try.
He said, Tim just said that. Big spider.
Yeah. So let me try to get this up to our screen, folks. This is, let's see if it'll focus on it. Probably not. Maybe so. Anyways, that is Mini Kiss. So that's cool. Good for them.
Oh, hell yeah, dude. They've been touring forever. Let's see. Kiss.
I have definitely never been a fan of Kiss.
I always liked Kiss, but
I'm not going to knock their stuff. They're not very talented music-wise.
Yeah.
But listen, they're pretty basic.
Business wise, dude, they're fucking unreal.
Gene Simmons, business wise, is unreal.
Oh, yeah, dude. and Paul Stanley, but the rest of them.
But like, there's one song called "Lick It Up" that's just "Lick It Up" the whole song. You're like, okay, you're like, lick it, okay,
Yeah.
and it goes on and on and on.
When they lost the makeup the first time, everything went.
Or when they were doing the shoulder shakes and they were like, lick it up, trying to look all sexy, and they were 75 years old. Lick it. You're like, okay, guys, lick up your vomit. Come on now, put it on. So what's up, Tank? How you doing?
What's up, Tank?
So, I mean, I don't know, dude. I mean, I don't know. I guess.
Yeah, but mini kiss, dude. You can't put, mini kiss is totally different story.
I will buy my friend Kurt mini Kiss tickets. He will go see him. He loves Kiss.
Right on.
He's the Kiss fan. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Kiss fans were different than metalheads, though.
Some of them were.
You go to a Slayer show, man. You go to a Kiss show, it's different,
Yeah. You definitely get a more diverse crowd at a Slayer.
And you know who else was fun to go see, Jeff? If you remember anybody out there watching Anthrax.
Love Anthrax, man. I'm the man. Scotty.
Tetras. Well, let me answer this question. Hey, I want to ask you guys, what are your thoughts on keeping tetras? Are you talking about fish?
Like
Tetra fish?
Little
And
Tetra?
with crocodiles? Good. No, you just have to keep replacing them for most of the time.
Right. Can your crocodiles play Tetris, Jimmy?
Oh, these little guys.
He's talking about tetras. Yeah, that's what he's talking about.
Yeah, like little.
Yeah, that's a fish. That's
Yeah,
a fish.
it is.
It's
a pretty little fish.
So I want to make sure it's one of the
Yeah,
same thing.
fancy.
Yeah, I don't know that.
Yeah, right.
I don't know that I would do that unless you plan on letting them eat the tetras.
Yeah,
I
they're gonna definitely eat them.
Even by accident, just taking a mouthful of water, it's because they're so little.
I mean, if you're putting crocodiles in a tank and you don't want them really to mess around, just put a fish in there bigger than they are.
Yeah.
Fish will push them around. They're like, holy crap, just not big enough to eat them.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's be smart, guys. Let's be smart about it. But you can probably put a medium-sized Oscar in there with a few alligators and stuff. An alligator bite him one time, or a crocodile, he'll whip that thing's ass, and that croc will never touch it again.
Yep.
So I wanted to get on that end. Jimmy and I were talking about that. Training alligators, everybody thinks it's this big thing. Training alligators is probably one of the easiest things to do on the planet, in my opinion. Very easy, as long as you can be repetitive with it, right? So big red-tailed catfish, you could probably do that too, as long as it was bigger. Eventually, I mean, we have crocodiles that will eat the biggest red-tailed catfish. So
Yeah.
I mean, it depends on the size of animals you have. But training alligators is easy, which is really why alligators die in the wild, man, because they learn so fast that they can eat bread off a bridge with soft-shell turtles and ducks. But so, I mean, at the end of the day, you can actually train an alligator and them not to really go for that stuff. You can take hatchling crocs or alligators, and you can put, like 6-month-old baby turtles in with it. And yes, every once in a while, the croc or the gator will bite onto and then like, oh, it's too big. And then after a while, once they become
that's awesome, Craig.
habituated, you don't have to do it anymore. Yeah, I saw your crocodiles, Tanks. Those are cool looking animals. And so, but once they reach 9 and 10 foot, and some cases 12, like what we're sitting on, it's a little bit of a different situation. And you mentioned something about growing them up fast. I don't like to grow crocodiles or alligators fast. I'm not a farmer. So on average, they grow about 6 inches a year. And you really want to, I know you want to super grow things sometimes, but it's not always good. The organs don't catch up. You start getting deformities because sometimes parts of the body will grow and the other part won't. So you'll have this crocodile with a 10-foot body and a 6-inch head. Yeah. Or sometimes, I mean, you've seen them. You may even have one, an alligator with a head that big and that's got a 4-foot body. See, I mean, and anytime somebody keeps something up north, like in Ohio or something, or New York, they always look like they were ran over by a frog or sat on by your overweight aunt. And then when you get them, their eyeballs are crossed and their mouths are flipped up. A lot of these guys are like, oh, this is my gator. And you'll see them, they're up north, and the gator's teeth are flared out like a sawfish, and they're all like just distorted. And it's really sad. It's really sad.
I mean, Tank, that could happen, buddy. That he said that I was told not to put turtles in because they can bite the toes. I mean, that's definitely a possibility. But if you want to cohabitate, though, you might want to start young, though, because if you don't do young, and you throw them in as adults, they're going to eat them.
Didn't you have turtles with your? Didn't you have your turtles with your Cuban for a while, Troy?
Yes,
one of them.
Yep, and he never bothered me. Right, he didn't give a shit about that turtle. Had a mud turtle in there with him for a while.
Yeah.
He would climb up on him now because at that size they're not big. Crocs aren't even big enough to bite through a shell at that size. So you can start them really young, and you can take a hatchling turtle and you can just train them right to pellets. They're not going to bite the feet of the alligator or the crocodile, and it would have to be a really strong animal to do that anyways. And generally, it's really not that strong.
Yeah, you'll start seeing bite marks, and then you can take the turtle out.
Yeah, if you're putting one in there too big.
Yeah, exactly.
Hatchling turtles with 6-7-month-old crocs, piece of cake. You're never going to bite anything off.
That's cool.
I've done it for years, so I know what I'm talking about. You can do it. And the reason I say that is if you ever do something like Jimmy does where you have big exhibits and you want to have maybe some turtles in with some of the crocs, you want to habituate them when they're little. So like where we're at currently right now, we have a display and we have 20 alligators in there. 19 alligators in there. And we have turtles in there with them. And everybody asks me the same thing. Oh, my God, do they bother turtles? Nah. Every now and then they'll go. So I was watching them act the other night, and they'll like bump the turtles away because they want the biscuits. They're not focused on the turtle anymore. They're focused on. Is it impossible? Nah. It's not impossible for them to do something, but
I mean, we've had accidents, but it wasn't intentional.
Yeah, and it was never like it's so minimal. It's like you might as well stop driving a car because the chance you get in a car accident are a lot higher than that. How's that sound? All right.
Yes, exactly.
But by all means, I like to learn. I've talked to a lot of people, and I certainly am still a full-time student when it comes to Crocs, and I've been working with them a very long time. And I still like to talk to some of the old timers, the guys that have been out there. There's a lot of really good information. If you can look up Kent Vliet, he's really good with alligator behavior and understanding them. He's just awesome. I like to ask him questions. And we learn a lot of things. I mean, and to this day, I mean, I'll do stuff and I'll be like, did you see that? That's something I never saw before. And I'm sure someone has.
I'll tell you one thing. Ken, the first time I ever saw, what was it called? The Realm of the Alligator.
Mm-hmm.
When I was young,
Nat Geo.
I lived up that documentary was awesome. He was doing stuff that he was in the water with them. I mean, and this was before a lot of that
absolutely
was happening. So
they do all over Florida.
Yep, absolutely.
Gators.
Absolutely.
Where's Tank at? Where are you at, Tank?
Michael asked a question about Tank. He's up north somewhere, I believe. He's
okay.
Up north of us. He's not in Florida.
Can red-eared sliders cohabitate with?
And I told him,
yeah, for sure.
Bro, I freaking love that documentary. That started Dan too. He used to watch it naked with a bottle of lotion and a paper towel. I watched that video 15 times. Yeah, he was really good. I mean, he did things that because he understands. And we were talking one time, like water is completely different for alligators than land.
Yeah.
Land is like holy ground. Don't get me wrong. There's the occasional argument. But for the most part, it's neutral ground until they get in the water. And it's different because, there's a lot of big, giant male, 13-foot males laying on the side. And like, man, he's like, it's funny because each one will pick a side or whatever, And then on land, they're all side to side like they're best friends. When they get in the water, they all separate or somebody gets chomped.
Yeah.
And so if it's something you're getting into, Tank, man, good for you. I don't know how long you've kept crocodiles, but you'll be learning a whole lot with them. At least once you're 20 years in, you'll really begin to really understand some of what they're capable of, but it takes a long time. So when you see these like Johnny-come-latelys that, they start out and they just want to get a croc and they know everything, it's absolutely wrong. And it takes a lot of years, a whole lot of years. And I can remember back when I was in my 20s and even in my teens and I was working with stuff, I thought I knew a lot.
Did they have
when I look, I'm like, fuck, if I would have known that then, Jesus.
Hey, Tank, if you don't mind me asking, do you have like outdoor like enclosures built for like, the better times of the year? Because I know with you guys, it's cold 6 months out of the year, roughly, maybe even a little bit more. Mm-hmm. So I'm just curious if you have anything built outside. Okay.
Yeah, some indoor stuff.
Yeah, it's nice. Yeah, they look good.
Yep. And you also don't want to make an obese animal either. You always want to watch for that. Exactly. You definitely don't want an obese animal.
That's a problem with snakes a lot too, especially big constrictors.
Yeah.
You see boas and they're round like a tube of sausage.
So when you overfeed a baby croc, and they are starting to get really round, like they're really round like this from their front arms to the rear arm, you're overfeeding. I feed my crocodiles maybe 3 times a week. If that, and they'll just start getting lethargic and heavy, and then you get problems and regurging, and or they'll just be big fat asses and they won't live very long. I can tell you that.
Yeah,
that
exactly.
I do know. They will not live long. So he's going to be turning 6 54-foot insulated shipping containers.
Oh, that's cool.
Into his croc house.
Very
good.
Cool.
No, I mean, I'm looking at yours right now, Tank. They look good, man. We were just talking about that. They look good. You'll see some people do them, and it's just really, really bad. You just don't want them to get super fat to where their tail starts looking like a light bulb at the base. That's a bit much. You should bring them down a hair if you get them to that level. It's not hard to do. They'll eat whatever you hand them. Believe me. I can feed that Cuban crocodile of mine until he throws up.
Yes, I have the Nile I had. He was the same way.
He'll eat until he's regurgitating. Yep. He'll steal everybody's food. So it's one of those things that they'll do. Because remember, in the wild, they're opportunistic feeders, and so with them doing that, they're gonna eat as often as they think it's there because that's just their wiring to do so. Good. I really do sometimes 3 times. Mainly it's just twice a week. I'll give the alligators or the crocs a certain type of food, and I always change it up. And there's a lot of things that you can do. You'll hear things like, "Oh, you should never give a hot dog to an alligator," or whatever. That's absolutely not true. And if you have an alligator that's sick or underweight, put them on hot dogs for a while. They need all that. There's sugars in it. There's things that fatten them up and really make them more
quickly too.
Yep.
Quickly.
You get them fattened up. You put them right back into business. They look good, and you can go right back on their diet because sometimes they get a little emaciated. They need to catch up.
Exactly.
Did you hear about the gator in the Brooklyn pond about a month ago? It was x-rayed and they found a tub drain stopper in it. No, but I believe that they have found license plates and everything else.
I'll be honest with you. I had a crocodile rip out a drain plug and I freaked out. I called everybody, Flavio, and he ended up passing it after a while. But
yeah, they forced it out.
Yep.
They forced it out. Tank said, I feed them tilapia, smelt, pellets, freeze-dried krill, and reptilinks. Good. That's pretty varied. I use sometimes I'll use fish. I do use croc chow. I do believe in it.
Yep.
I use shrimp.
I do shrimp a lot for young crocs.
Some chicken, sometimes pork, and they like that. And insects. If you can get a lot of insects in there, and they're small enough. Insects are badass for them. Crickets.
I do
worms,
pinkies. Yep. I do a lot of that. Yep.
Frozen thawed pinkies. They get a good thing. So there's a lot you can do that. I work in Brooklyn for the federal courts. Nice. Okay. Nice. So I'm sure one day for the federal courts you'll come across a drug dealer that has something he's not supposed to have. Yeah, crickets work great. Absolutely.
Yeah, they're good.
They absolutely work great. Yeah. Absolutely. Yep. And it teaches them a little bit of skill. They start to hunt them and stuff, and then they definitely tear them up. They're good things.
Well, the good thing about crickets, in my opinion, is that when you put them into like a small crocodile enclosure, they're having to chase them. So, because like you said, a lot of the food that we feed, like these small crocodiles or alligators, they're frozen. So we defrost them, you put them on a little thing, and then they eat them. The crickets, they can chase that shit around and, work themselves out a little bit.
Yep.
Travel 200
miles. Probably like to hunt a little bit, too.
100 miles each way. I almost did that.
Shit. Yeah, that's true.
75 Sarasota and back every day. Do what you got to look.
Wow, the El Chapo case. That's crazy.
We had the El Chapo case at my job. Nice. Well, that's good. See? So we must have lost Brittany. It's 8:30. She ain't around.
I know, right? What happened?
Oh no, I'm gonna text her right now and find out what's going on.
Right. Tell her we're all waiting for her. Tell her there's a spirit here that wants to talk to her.
Nah, she don't come for that. She comes for alien stuff.
Tell her the ghost of Elvis is here. She'll show up fast.
She might.
Right.
She might do that. I told Jimmy we ought to go back up to Graceland, me and Jimmy.
Oh, Graceland.
Want to come with us, Jeff?
I think we should. Road trip.
I think it'd be a good time, don't you?
Yes, dude. I'm down with that.
Jeff, you work tonight?
I am not working tonight. I'll meet you in the car. I got to be back tomorrow night at about 6:30, though.
We'll text you in a little bit.
Yeah. Well, I'll be damned.
There she is.
Sorry, I was all set to come in, and then my daughter threw up everywhere, so I had to go clean all that up. That was lovely. So here I am.
Priorities.
I'm just tired. So
that's a really cool hat. Where'd you get that?
Well,
she has connections.
I have connections.
I really like that guy. I gave that hat to somebody else.
You did. Who doesn't wear it anymore? So I took it.
Oh, you stole it.
Yeah.
You're not gonna wear it.
I like that hat. Looks good.
I might as well wear it. It represents the show.
Well, it gives you a good edge. Don't curve the bill, though. That's Jimmy's thing only.
You curved it.
That's my redneck
Jimmy curves
side.
it down, man. I'm not talking about flair. I'm like, he curves it.
There you go, right there.
I like it.
Makes my head look smaller. So.
His buddy Paul Bodner. I know. I'm familiar with Paul Bodner. Yep. Good old Paul Bodner. Yep. Come on down, man. That'd be cool. So what's on your shirt?
Oh, I got it while I was in Graceland. It's a
What is
replica.
that? A
Of,
dead person on there? What is
His
this?
suit.
no, it's a replica of his suit. Elvis.
Nice.
I see Elvis. That's
Okay.
interesting. Did they give it to you?
I wish. No, I bought it. It actually has national.
Man. No, I'm glad you got it. That's cool. So, Brittany, we were talking when we first came on. I sent you that. What do you think about a preacher that farts in people's nostrils to heal them? I mean, because you don't joke around a lot, so I want to know what. I mean, you joke around, but you don't. I want to hear your honest opinion. What you think of that?
I think it's ridiculous. I think it's a joke, and I think it's a mockery of certain aspects of the religion. Like, I think it's just a way to have their own ridiculous cult following. I mean, if somebody would actually believe that you could be saved or healed by a fart, you have some problems. Like, this isn't legit at all.
Chad. Oh, bastard. I like this guy now. Chad, he would sell farts to heal people.
He definitely would.
That's what I like about Chad. I love Chad. He's a good dude, man. He's a good dude. He really is, man.
Yeah, no, I don't believe in it. I think it's ridiculous. And the fact that there's a following to it is absolutely absurd. I mean, that just shows you how many followers are out there and gullible to believe this stuff and are willing to believe it. Like, it's
there's a lot.
disgusting.
Yeah,
not
for
just
sure.
him, but I've heard legitimately that he could make the sighted blind with his farts. So, that's a pretty big feat.
Isn't that
know,
the
right?
opposite, though? Isn't that the opposite of what you
No,
should
he
be
takes
doing?
their sight away so they can't. Like the Bible says, if you look at another man's woman, you're supposed to pluck the eye from the head.
Well, hopefully nobody plucks his brown eye out. So it's,
And his money maker.
He's not
They
giving.
don't mess with his starfish kisser.
I wonder if his asshole's insured for like millions.
Probably.
She's. I mean,
I absolutely think he's got a thing there.
Fart water.
far.
I bet we could sell Jimmy Riffles farts, Gator Boy farts.
Yeah, that's fucking
Oh,
disgusting.
He'd sell them too. If they're like, we'll give you $1,000 jar, he'd be farting around. Dad, help
hell
out here.
No.
Help out, George.
Right? Everyone
Oh my
comes with a
God,
gator
yeah.
tooth.
Yeah.
Gotta get at the bottom of the
It's
fart
included
bottle.
with the packet.
I think we could sell Gator turds, man, and do it too.
You
Add
probably
a little bit
could.
to your food every
People
night.
buy the fossilized gator poops that from the prehistoric time. They'll have like this big pile of nothing, and they'll say, "Oh, that's fossilized gator shit." I'm like, you couldn't have bought the fossilized shell or something.
That's
Right.
ridiculous. That just shows you the stuff that people will buy. That's insane to me.
gator poop.
That's
Hell
ridiculous.
yeah.
Is it chocolate covered?
Yes, to sing
That's awesome.
one heathen at a time. Yes. Is it chocolate covered? I wish it was.
Remember how like you go into those like country
I
stores?
remember when you used to sell snowman poop in a bag.
Yeah, I did, and it had a little rhyming story that goes with it. I don't remember it
Snowman poop
now.
was like marshmallows in a bag, and they had a craft shop, and
It was
every
like-
Christmas everybody buys snowman poop in a bag.
Let me see if I can remember. Santa checked his list. He even checked it twice to find out if you'd been naughty instead of being nice. So to save on coal this Christmas year, Santa's filling your stocking with like this snowman poop. I don't remember. There was a whole rhyme that I had with it, but that's basically what it was in an essence.
And people ate it up. They liked that shit.
Oh my God, they loved it because I had like a little snowman on there that was like kind of like winking with the story, and then it was a bunch of marshmallows in a bag. It was hilarious.
Chad rides around in one of them big trucks, so he probably could fossilize them, dude. No, I'm gonna tell you something. Unless you're a biker, you don't know what a deuce is. You ride a motorcycle all day, you take a deuce. It's like you gave birth to that microphone. You're like, I cannot believe. You don't need a colon cleanser, do you, Jeff? You ride all day, you go home, that thing's a foot long.
I'm
You're
telling
doing
you.
that ice cream swirl in there. You're like, hold on a second.
Perfect, dude.
And I'm sure my friend Jim's watching right now, and he knows what I mean. Because you're all day, you're riding like this, it's packing it all down. And then you get home, and it looks like a ghost smoking a cigar. Son of a bitch, it's hilarious.
I was poking around at some bikes this week, actually, just kind of looking, seeing what's out there. And
Good.
dude,
I
road
got to
block.
ride Sunday to Jimmy's. It's going to be me, Flavio, our friend Jim, Dan. Well, Jason bailed out, but so it's going to be like 4 of us heading out that way.
Oh shit! I forgot about that. I better
Oh, right,
get
that's
started.
So we're going to be, and Kurt's riding with us.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
So 5 of it. So we'll have Kurt with us. We'll make him the road captain. He can ride in the back where it's safe.
That's it.
I'll put Dan up front. We'll do the old, VP president ride. We'll do it right. Put
Dan?
Flavio in the middle.
Did they make a motorcycle small enough for Dan?
This is
Dan?
a different Dan.
Yeah, totally different. You're talking Dan?
Like, man, dude. You have a moped or like a Vespa.
No, Dan. Our Dan, the Dan I'm talking about, from the zoo, the curator of the zoo. He has an FLHX. Pretty fucking
nice, dude.
It's a black one, pretty much like you had.
Yep.
It's a newer one though. It's got the big vent in the fairing, and he just got the rolling stand style bent ape hangers. You know, that kind of come out and bend up. They're with that nice big front wheel. It's a nice looking bike. And you know I'm an FLTR guy all the way, but
yes,
I do like
the road glide. I was looking at some road glides, man, and some street glides and some road kings and stuff. I like road kings, like without the windshield.
I do too. It just blows the shit out of you, man. Stretches out your face and
it's hard not to get mouth into the fairing after you've ridden one for a long time.
You can't ride without a wind. Once you rode a bagger, dude, you just can't. You can't.
Yep. I do love baggers, and I don't think I'll ever go back to not having a bagger if I buy another bike.
I might have an extra one in the garage, but I'll always have a bagger to roll out on because I'll pound down on them things, man. I love it.
Yeah, dude, it's like riding in a Cadillac. It's nice and smooth, comfortable.
Yep, and I liked it. The reason I tell people I like the Oroga because it's ugly. It's not so much the looks. I mean, I think they look good, but they're frame mounted fairings. So I don't got you can even let your hands on the steering wheel and sit like this and be like cruising at 90 miles an hour right down the interstate. I've
never ridden a frame mounted fairing like that. I just rode the
everybody goes, oh, it's weird. It's not going to turn with my headlights. I'm thinking, let me ask you a question. When you're driving, right, or riding, at 70 miles an hour, when you turn, you think your headlight goes up? Your wheel stays straight. You lean.
Yeah,
it's exactly. Same thing, folks. The only difference is if you're at a stoplight, you can go like this and turn your headlight around. But the FLTRs have a wide spread, so they go all the way across from intersection anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, no, they're nice bikes, man. I like. I looked at one that was like that fucking matte black. I dig that, but I feel like it's gonna scratch easy, real easy. Matte black. What do they call it? The satin black.
Yeah, or denim.
Yeah, or denim. Yeah.
That'd be nice. Jimmy's next. He's looking at one too.
Yeah, we've been looking.
We'll have our own gang. We'll have our own gang pretty soon.
Right. You sent me that video of that car that just decided for no reason whatsoever to just run over those smoke.
I know.
Not decided for no reason. The biker was mouthing off, "Get out of your car, tough guy!" And the old person was scared and they ran over him. You got to be careful.
Oh, was he? I didn't hear that.
If you scream at someone in a car and you're on a bike, you better be ready, man. Because
damn right, they're bigger than you.
Man, if I was in a car and a bunch of them got around my car, they were going to hurt me. I'm driving over every fucking one of them.
Wow. Yeah, I was just like in shock watching it because it was just like
that car didn't skip a beat. He ran him over. No. He's like, "Fuck you, I'm out."
The guy fell over and had to pull his pants up. His girl's ass was up in the air. He's mouthing off, man. He was mouthing off.
Oh, I didn't know he was mouthing off. I didn't hear that part. I just was
like, "Oh, get out of the car, man!" He was screaming at him. They're like, because that happens, man.
Yeah.
Even in the motorcycle club life.
Yeah.
Robates will drive vans on purpose to run over other members in different clubs.
Oh, wow.
So.
It's an easy way to do it.
I mean, I was talking to one of my friends not too long ago that still happens to be a member of a rather large motorcycle club, and they were going through, two young guys who were just patched were going through a town, and communication was messed up, and two other people from that other organization in that area went through and shot him in the back of the head on the side of the road and left him there just for driving through without asking permission. It's a serious game, man.
Yep.
Wow.
I get the haters. Oh yeah, black. I lived that life a long time, and I know exactly how it works. Long time, man.
Yeah, you did.
You did.
Yeah. So I've seen people, and you got to, we used to get calls. Hey, we're going to be here for Bike Week, or hey, we're coming through. And as long as we know you're there. That's how it was. Some people.
Even for me, like having to be like the sister of a brother in a club, like there is a brotherhood there and there's a protection there that you feel as a family, but you also begin to learn how it works, the process and that family group, and then you also learn when you're in other states, like how you respectfully protect each other and look out for each other. Cause I remember like I was telling Troy, I mean, like I had bought, I don't remember what was the name of the company, but I think it was, I don't remember the name. It doesn't matter, but they had like a.
I know what we're talking about. It was. I'll tell you. I remember exactly what it was.
Like, you remember my coat?
It was a. I'll tell you his name in a minute. You'll know it when I say it, Jeff. Do you remember the guy that did all the tattoos for a little while and they put it on clothing?
Oh, Ed Hardy.
Ed Hardy.
Yeah, Hardy.
There was an Ed Hardy jacket.
Wing,
And it had
oh,
a,
wing thing.
it had a white skull with it had the white skull with the death head on it.
Yep.
And the one she had was a skull and had some crossbones. And one of the locals thought it was a fucking thing, and we had to go set them straight.
Yeah, because it was. I mean, it looked like patches. Like it looked like actual. Because it had a rocker on the top.
After a while, even there was grown men at the time.
So, yeah.
Now there's bikers, there's enthusiasts, and there's 1%ers. So to be a 1%er takes a very long time to achieve, and I think it's like a rich guy coming in and buying a bunch of hognose snakes or crocodiles and calling himself a croc guy. You're in the eyes of a real person. It doesn't matter who you are, what kind of cars you drive. You're still a nitwit. So there was grown men that be wearing Sons of Anarchy shirts.
I remember that.
And they would make their vests and put Florida rockers on the bottom of their makeup.
Ooh, yeah, bad idea.
So,
but
you have to look at it and laugh. To me, I mean, laugh and we didn't get all worked up about it. We laughed, and then we kind of like, listen, it's probably not good for you to be rolling through because, our rivals don't really care for that too much, and you're liable to get hurt. Some guys are like, oh shit, we didn't know. They just don't know because at the time they were watching shows.
Right.
But the thing is, like, even like for me, having you in the clubs or in the club, it was interesting too because I learned the respect of earning those rockers. What they represent and what they mean when you earn them. And so for me, like when you would point them out to me about, oh gosh, here's more of those people, like they just don't know, and they, innocently could get their butt kicked and they don't realize it because they just are trying to support a show and they think it's cool. But they don't realize like what actually goes on behind the scenes and the respect and everything that actually happens. Like those are earned, those aren't just given, those are earned. And so you learn that. And so like, I can honestly say like, that was one of like the proudest moments is like, most people may have looked at that like outside that don't understand that to be like, oh, your brother's in a club. But it was like, yeah, but for me, that's like an honor code. Like, it's really cool to know that it's an honor.
I'm sure TJ was in here earlier.
Yeah.
Okay.
TJ.
Where TJ's in here. He said, what's up? And we're from a 1% motorcycle club. And I just remember some of the things where we would just look at each other and be like, good God, what the hell are we doing this for? Because there's things that you're like, this is only supposed to happen in the movies. And I didn't see that, man, when we were young. And the older we got, you got to begin to understand it. But I was fortunate because I'm older. Jeff and I are a little bit older. And when we were coming in, the guys that originally started those things that came in from like the war in Vietnam that were real members, because you have to remember there was a lot of guys that they came back from war being over there 8 years, 10 years. And just living a certain life and then coming back. And then a lot of those guys got together and it was a camaraderie. A lot of motorcycle clubs, hardcore motorcycle clubs were based from World War II veterans, basically. Like, the notorious Hells Angels. Amazing club, in my opinion. I don't care what anybody has to say. And I think that it started somewhere. And do I think all clubs have the right idea? There's just so much corruption at times because people get the wrong ideas. And I remember telling probates, they'd say, oh, I saw that, so-and-so, let's go beat him up. And I'm like, why? And they're like, because he's in this club. So what? That's not your beef anymore. That's old. It didn't happen. So if you're going to act like that now, you're going to be no good as a patch member to us because you're just going to be a problem and you're going to start things that, you have to be a man and understand meetings and having what we call church and associating with that type of lifestyle. A lot of people don't really understand it, and you won't. But they're like, oh, you guys want to be free. We're free, but you have to have regulations because we had a lot of loose cannons in our organization. God bless them. And the ones you want on your side. And some I would never fuck with. But I will tell you, I'm glad they were with us. You know what I mean? So you bully one of these guys for and act like that, and you get shot and killed. You got to do what you got to do what you got to do. I learned a lot from two members of the club back when I was 10. I don't see Seth understands, but I've known Seth forever too. So we've had our conversations. I've seen the Hells Angels in New York City rolling. They were so deep. Yeah. You were one of the most impressive clubs that, as far as riding in, that you see them enter an area, are the Banditos.
Mm-hmm. Yep. When I was,
they are fucking no joke, bro. Fucking mild, dude.
Yeah. No, when I was in Oklahoma, Arizona, Texas, it was. I worked with a retired bandito who was a freaking giant, dude. This guy was like 7 feet tall and just all fucking body, dude. He's scary, dude.
And you know, a lot. I'm going to correct everybody right now because a lot of people say, "Oh, well, you can't retire." Well, yes, you can.
Mm.
Yes, you can. You can do your time and you can retire. You can get thrown out. You can quit and be blacklisted, or you can retire out. You can do your time and retire out. And all that means is that you're not a full-time member. It means you can't be there at everything, or maybe you got a little bit older. Something happened to you. You were in a bike wreck. You can retire. There's a lot of honorable guys out there, man. You know, if you remember when I was in my bike wreck, they all came to see me and stuff.
Yep.
One after the other, and people were like, "What the hell is all this going on in here?" And then when Slob got ran over next to me by that drunk dude on that motorcycle, they separated all of us in 2 separate hospitals because they thought at the time when the cops came, they thought it was a gang war. They really did.
Yep, I remember that.
Now, we were actually, at the time this happened, so a little truth behind the scenes. At the time that this happened, we had a film crew had just landed in Orlando to come interview us for a documentary that they were doing about our club.
I have watched it.
Well, so the footage you seen in the very first opening of Slob on the Ground was real. We were coming back from a ride, and there was this drunk guy that we later on found out who it was, and that's in there. We found him. That was all real. He accidentally throttled up, and he was drunk. Whiskey throttled it. It stuck. It was an old bike. You know, it got stuck down in the clutch and ran him over. Now, TJ remembers it clearly. So, but at the time when the cops showed up, they're like, "Oh no, here we go, man. It's a war. It's war. They're trying to kill people." That wasn't the case at all. It wasn't a case at all. It was just a simple accident. So they weren't even supposed to be filming that. They just filmed it. I'll send it to you later, Chad. They just filmed it, and I think that you know, it was a good time, man. It was they listened to us. It was very fair. You know, there were some phony ones out there, but at the time, we were supposed to do 6 episodes. We could only do 4 because during the filming there were some murders, and so those people were no longer able to film because they were killed. So there was a lot going on at that time. It was a intense thing, and so some good people lost their life, but glad I knew them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All over some dumb shit.
Yeah. Well, so, and too, because of some of the filming, we were able to get some really cool footage too that we have to remember some of those members by too.
Oh yeah, they did some honors for them. They did these like memorial videos for them with music. They did an amazing job. I can send some of them to you, Jeff. Show you later too.
Right on, yeah, definitely.
But I will tell you that I got to give it to the Discovery Channel because when the investigation went down, we were pulled in and out. Like they shut our show down. We were back and forth. I had flown out to South Dakota. They had followed me there. They thought that we were running drugs. They were looking after the person. I was just going out there to visit. I was not going out there to run. It was unbelievable. And then when all that was going down, they were like, well, the footage of all that shooting is on film. And Discovery said, nope, we're not turning anything over to you. And they never did. They couldn't even subpoena it. It was they stood up, man.
That's awesome.
They're like, no, we're not gonna get involved. Probably because they were scared. Like, oh, turn that over.
Most likely.
Turn that over because, I mean, you know, we don't talk about that because we heard straight, and Brittany was there. We heard straight from the network that it was the most dangerous show that they had ever filmed and had ever been involved with because of what happened. We had Secret Service and we had armed protection for the camera crew everywhere they were.
Yep.
Because they were that terrified of it. It was a big deal.
Deadliest catch, you know, it's fucking scary for them.
They said they will never do something like that again. That's honest God's honest truth. And we had some serious views. Like they wanted so much more to go because at that time they wanted more people. But they were like, nope, it's not worth. We're not putting any of our production or anybody's life in danger.
Good.
Yeah.
So a few of us retired out after our time, and that's it, man. It's good to go. Now, every time I can't help it when I'm driving down the road and I see bikes go by, I go, oh, it's just the Harley owners group.
Yep. Shit, I do that, and I wasn't even in a club, dude. I was like, "Who's that?"
You're like, "Who's that?" Yeah, I always do. I can't help it. I see bikes. I'm like, "Whoa!" Or you see a group of bikes and they're all in black and they're tight. They're coming through with something going on. You know,
I've messaged you a couple of times.
How they ride like that. There is none of this staggered ride. You ride hard and it's side by side. That's the difference between the real deal and I did my test at the cones.
Yeah.
I had a motorcycle license before I had a car license though.
Well, it's funny because there's been numerous times I'll be driving somewhere and I'll see patches or rockers and I'll text Troy and be like, "Hey, I just saw,
And I'm like, "That's new. I've never heard of them in my life."
Yeah, and I was like,
now I see them pop up all the time. Ham sandwiches, MC, and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
I seen something the other day. It was called Viking Warriors Motorcycle Club or something like that. And it had like this like Trojan helmet on it, and then it said, forever loyal or something.
Were they 1% or were they?
No,
just
hell no.
So they were
There's
just a
only
club.
so many 1%ers in this state, and I know them all. And that one there, I'm telling you right now, is not. And so it was like, it said like, the bottom rocker was like loyal forever or loyal since, 1585 or whatever. And they're all like real clean cut guys with masks on. And I'm like, oh, here we go, dude.
It always reminds
A
me.
fucking cop club. It's
Yeah.
just what it is, dude.
It always reminds me
Jail
of
and looking like us on the
Yeah,
weekend.
there's a few of those around.
Yeah, they do something else, don't they?
Yep, certain mail order type situation. Yeah, there are a lot of
I
cops.
always had a problem with. I'll tell you why. Because I can't go dressed like a cop on the weekend.
Nope, not unless you're a stripper.
These guys, let me tell you what some of these guys will do, man. How terrible for someone to think that this is okay to go to Harley Davidson and buy the fake T-shirt with the fake tattoo sleeves in it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wear gloves and ride that shit out like you're something.
That's ridiculous.
What? Who thinks that that's okay?
Apparently people
No, I would not.
I mean, I don't know how to compare it. Like, Jimmy, let's go buy Big Gator Tooth and call ourselves Jimmy Riffle. How do you call yourself whatever, any one of the Gator boys, and pretend when you're not?
That's
I
like
got some tight shirts. I could be a certain Gator boy. I could fucking get it, like,
Hey, listen, Jeff.
I'm gonna send you one just so I can see that.
Yeah, I just think that that people got to understand there's respect for everything, man. And that's we always preach that here on the show. We're always like that, right? We always talk about everybody has a right to do what they want and stuff, and that's great. But just be careful, man. I mean,
just respect others. That's
if you're getting into that. I mean, like, if you're going around town, let's just take it a flip side of things, Jeff, where you're from. If you're going around town pretending to be the mafia, I mean,
yeah, somebody put one in the back of your head. They don't like that shit.
yeah. What was it? I remember I worked with a guy. I love this man so much. He was from New York, man. And he would say, 3 behind the ear. You do that again. 3 behind the fucking ear. He would always say that.
Little 22.
So I know exactly what he meant by 3 behind the ear.
Oh my god.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
but I love him to this day. He was a great guy. He's an old man, retired. I love him. He's a good guy. Returns Big Gator Tooth and plaid shirt to Amazon. I love it, Chad.
The Jimmy Riffle survival kit.
Right.
You know what?
That's the Halloween costume.
No,
right
I
there.
want to do the Jimmy Riffle starter kit and do that. I think we should sell that online.
Well, yeah,
Plaid
dude,
shirt,
the hat.
real
Dude,
snap,
you
and
gotta have the hat.
If you want to spend $800, you get the real tooth. If not, you get a plastic tooth and you get that hat on Amazon. And you can start.
When are we marketing the Jimmy Riffle sex dolls? What I want to know.
Yeah.
That would sell out tonight. Good night, Tank.
Yeah.
Man, we'll be in touch, brother. Thank you.
What about like a wig? You have to add the wig and like the beard too. I'm just
Yeah,
saying
the
you
hat.
have to add that
Yeah.
into the costume
The
set.
hair's never
No,
down,
that's a
so you
starter
get
kit.
away
You
with
got to
it.
grow your own beard.
And your
Comes with
hair.
like a
Put on the
clip-on
hair. You
ponytail.
gotta have the ponytail wig that's attached to a hat.
Yep.
Oh, that's
That's
even
what you
better.
can do.
We'll
The
get
Joe
it
Dirt
attached.
look. The
Yep.
Joe Dirt
We'll have
look.
it attached to the hat and you can wear it.
Yo, dare take.
You know,
There's
you're all
3
laughing.
rules when you wrestle alligators.
Chad, get a picture of him. Set that up on eBay one time. See if you can sell that as a starter kit. Jimmy Riffle Gator Boy starter kit.
He
Yeah.
probably could, like even on Scales, Tails, and Teeth, be like, "Hey guys, I have this for you."
Hey.
Listen, if he
You
sold
probably
these shirts
could,
right
Jimmy.
here at any one of his shows with the hat on the hanger and he sold them for people would buy it.
I know.
Then the next day, that's all you see is guys that look like
Pretty
Jimmy.
little kids
I'd be like,
costume.
hey, Jimmy, damn it. If that shit had happened when we was in Texas, I would have never known what to do. Chad said, done. Put that up for everyone to see. Thank you, Chad. Chad said, what are we doing Sunday? We'll definitely get together with Chad
Yeah,
Sunday.
he can come on out. Yeah, he's always welcome.
It'll be Sunday, Chad. You should come on out, man. We'll have the bikes there. Hopefully we won't crash at Jimmy Sugar Sand.
There's
well, no, funny
grass. There's grass right around it.
It's so
You can
fun how
grass
you
it up.
ride a motorcycle in sugar sand.
Yeah.
He has a couple parts of sugar sand, so we'll see how good. We'll see who's the deal there.
That's right.
I'm sure I'll crash. It's been a long time for me. Damn it, Jimmy, the sand.
Does Jimmy have a bike?
No,
No. Okay.
He has one with pedals.
I do. It's rusted up though.
Jimmy said he's looking at a bike.
Yeah,
So
we've been
one.
looking.
Flavio's got one.
Yeah.
Our friend Jim just got a new one, a nice one.
Yeah.
He bought one of those nice, just to tell you, Jeff, because you'll understand. He bought one of those nice. They look. Do you remember the old '70s bikes that had the chrome fender on it. The 1100s, like the XS 1100 Yamaha, the
Real thin, fucking narrow.
flat four with the pipes that go down all the way out the front.
Yeah,
They rebuilt them to lock them up. This dude is sick.
Nice.
It's like one of those retro Hondas, man. You know, like they did. I'm trying to find
thingy, my computer.
A Honda, either a CB750 or 1100 with the better to paint it purple. Okay, Jeff, and then call it the Purple Rain. You remember Purple Rain?
Yes.
The bike in Purple Rain.
Like the whole bike would be purple, or would
Yeah, like Purple Rain, like Prince's bike, Purple Rain. Chad said that's his laundry day, so he's coming over. It's terrible, Chad. Terrible.
That's okay.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, so one of those. We need a Purple Rain bike, Jeff. Purple Rain.
Perfect. I'm down.
It's got to have a better. Nobody knows what I'm talking about unless you're old. A better bearing. Better.
Yeah, dude. I 750F was my first bike. It was like
did it have a better fairing?
Yeah, no fairing.
Oh man, I had.
I was gonna kind of cafe it out a little bit because they look really nice like that.
That's how Jim looks, cafe style, badass dude.
Oh, that's awesome.
So I was thinking, I find a CB750K or CB1100 Honda, 79 to 83, right in that era, and then paint it, do the purple, make it the Purple Rain. But it has to. My dad has a Honda CB750 with the big veteran. I bet I could paint it purple. It would be the Purple Rain bike.
It needs some tune-up. Needs some work.
It does, but I mean that's okay, man. Those bikes are still good. I'd like to get it all.
Oh yeah, those CBs will last forever.
They run for you can probably put $1,000 in it and it'd be cherry.
Yep, agreed.
And there she said, there you go. So she wants us to come get it. That's
yeah, damn right, Michael.
You'd have to make like
the handle it for Jimmy, the marketing.
Perfect.
You'd have to make like the seat not leather, but like felt would be gross if it got rained on, so it has to be leather, but
it's leather in the movie too. It's black and it's the Purple Rain bike. It's got I'd love it.
Oh, okay. There you go.
Rain. Yes.
Yeah, buddy.
They pulled up by the lake and he's like, listen, I'll wear your clothes and jump in there. You know what I mean? And he gets off his bike and he's like standing next to the tank at face level. And he had heels on. I love that shit. Remember when he grabbed his dad from beating the shit out of his mom? He goes, leave her alone. And he jumped on her back. It looked like the actor from fucking Fantasy Island doing it.
That too.
Oh my God.
The plane. Grab me.
Yep.
But he was a little. Prince was a little guy.
Yeah.
So when he got off that bike, it looked like a little guy, right? Like his little boots were on there and shit. They caught it and they're like, okay, hold it, cut. And they held it and then they made it look like, because I don't know how he stopped that thing.
It was probably on a track.
But he'd be riding with his white scarf. And they're playing I Would Die For You. This shit's awesome, bro. It's like Graffiti Bridge. Remember that movie? Yep. Brittany's like, no.
I don't know that one.
I know
What is
Elvis.
it, Graffiti Bridge?
Graffiti
Yeah, that's
Bridge.
right. Unless it's Elvis.
It
I wasn't a huge Prince fan though. That's why I like.
Prince is the shit. And you know what else? He used to hang out with a band, The Time. You remember that?
Yep. Morris Day, man.
Yep, and The Time.
Little love.
Excuse me. I'll be coming online. That guy was hilarious. I saw him live in Galveston when I used to work for a company called ASI. We would do production staging years ago, like 2005. And he was there on Galveston Beach. They had a big concert. We built the stage for him. It was fun. I had good times doing that. I flew way too much.
You were always on the road.
I was in airplanes and everything else. No, thank you. I'd come home and I'd leave a day later. You're going here. We're flying you out here.
One of those trips are the ones where the engine went out, right? That was on one of those trips, right?
Yes.
So yeah.
On the plane.
No, I was flying back to Ohio.
Oh, okay.
And we left Orlando and we had engine failure, caught fire.
Oh my God.
And they're like, we're going to have to emergency land in Jacksonville. So I was like, we got, and then you see all the smoke coming out of it. It was US Air. I'll never fly them again ever.
I wish you had a.
And it was like, we landed. And they're like, oh,
better.
It was fine. I told them I'm not getting back on. I was like, it's okay. What are the chances? I'm like, so you get on the next plane. I'm just watching that fucking thing the whole time, looking out the window. It's not moving. It doesn't look like it's moving. Or you'll see the wings go like this. And you're like, it's gonna break. And the last time I flew, I was on an airplane. The very last time, it might have been with my mom. I don't know, but I definitely was with Jimmy.
Yeah.
And we were coming out of Belize.
Yeah.
and something hit the side of our airplane. So
Bro,
fucking
that
hard.
fucking airplane went fucking up and down. Oh my god.
It was like boom, it shook everything. You know, like I mean, it shook you like somebody threw a grenade at it.
Yeah, it was terrible.
Like they just hit a wall of flat air or something. I thought the whole ass end of the plane fell off.
It was scary as fuck. It was scary as hell.
Yep. And I came back me and Brittany were flying back from LA. I don't know what we were doing there, but we were in LA for something. And I remember the turbulence coming back. Oh God. And every time you go to Denver, it's like the Rockies.
Yep, you get the I just don't like the quick drops, man.
And you can hear too. And everything's up here like God.
Yeah, you got to pull your balls out of your throat.
Well, it did that too on the way from Belize too.
They
dropped on us like that
to
too.
get it out. I know why they do it. They do it to drop out of the turbulence.
Yeah, well, they did it, and our stomachs went to the ceiling.
Yeah, when they drop 3,000 feet like that.
Yeah.
That'll put
I don't like that
And
at all.
you're like, when's it gonna stop? It's like, and you feel heavy again. You're like, oh my God. They got to figure something out where the inside kind of hovers.
Yeah.
So when the planes make moves like that, it kind of stays still, like a geoscope or whatever they
I
call
was
it.
gonna say, like one of those things they put bombs on when the military transports them on like the little
Exactly. A gyroscope.
There you go.
That's what it needs to be. You need to be sitting like on the gyro, like you have those cameras. You sit on the gyro and you can like shake it around, but it sits like this and doesn't move.
Yep.
They need to put
They
that
make
on
it-
the
Put pillows on the roof.
No, the inside, man, it just hovers on a gyroscope like that. So no matter what you do, it kind of goes back and forth.
Even my recent flight to the East Coast was turbulent. I didn't like it at all.
Were you upset? Were you scared or just annoyed?
No, like at first I was annoyed because I always take like really deep breaths because I try and tell myself I'm in a bus just going over
I
potholes
take deep breaths too. You know
until
what I
those
do?
potholes become like, okay, I'm dropping out of the sky. And like it was just for me, it
Deep
was too much.
breaths.
You ever been on a bus? Because I think I'd rather be in a plane that's failing sometimes.
Yes. No, I did it. But you know, like in your head, you're kind of like just calming yourself down by like, that's a pothole. You're okay. You're not, 40,000 feet in the air. Like I'm just trying to calm myself down. And but when the bumpy, it was really funny because they were like, the stewardess was coming above the cabin for like snacks and drinks or whatever. And so we're like all waiting. And then it was like they were coming halfway down and then the turbulence started. So like everything was shaking and bumping. And they're like, never mind. They're going to have to go back and be seated. So that's going to be canceled until we get past this turbulence, which lasted like the rest of the flight in. And I was just like.
Let me tell you something. Look what Craig just said. Worst flight he was on. The food cart was on the ceiling for 5 seconds. Now listen here. That would bother me, Craig.
About food, Craig.
Craig, you're more man than I am. I would have died right there. I just gave up.
And I'd have been like, look, I don't care if the drink service was suspended. I need a cocktail right now.
Exactly.
Yeah, you're dropping. It's up there. Like, yeah, we're dead.
That's what makes the flight so much easier. Couple
Exactly.
cocktails. Yeah. That way I don't know what's happening. So,
Dude, I was
Airplane Bloody Marys, man.
coming back from Las Vegas. When we flew out of Las Vegas, man, to head home, after we drew from Arizona, I was so fucking high. I don't even remember the flight. I remember the people that were with us were like, bro, you were just sitting in a plane going bang, bang. You were like, that's
rolling with it.
It's okay, man, because in places like Vegas, you can get something like that.
Yeah.
But you can't always get that everywhere. So,
It's a damn shame, man. I was talking to somebody about that today that it's almost every state has some sort of legal weed, but
I peed a little.
I think we all would have, Craig.
we'd have been poking cotton on that one, boys and girls. Talk about holy farts.
Yeah.
I bet everybody's seat had a kiss on it.
Yes.
You know where it sucks the seat?
I was
Without
on the way to Thailand, and we flew from Seattle, where I was, me and my friend Penelope, to Narita Airport in Japan. And we get to Narita, and they're like, "Oh, there's a what is it called? Typhoon." And we had to land in a typhoon, and it was like a 45-minute descent, just white knuckling it, planes all over the place. And we were the last plane to land. They closed Narita Airport in Tokyo, so we had to stay in Japan for a couple days, which was ridiculously expensive. And then get on another 6-hour flight to Bangkok. It was crazy, dude. It was a 10-hour, the end of a 10-hour flight too.
Oh,
so it was. I was already, ready to get off, and it was scary as fuck, though.
I'm not going to fly. Thanks for telling me that. But I did hear that Brittany might go to the Congo with me, so that's kind of cool.
Nice.
We'll see.
I know you're not. It's okay. I understand. Blame it on the kids.
Going to the Congo.
Huh?
So when are you going to the Congo?
I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what takes us.
Scary place, man.
Yep, I'll be on a cruise. How long does it take? 30 days?
Is there water?
I'll sleep on the boat. I can swim.
Do what? What?
Is there water in the Congo to get there on a cruise? Or
I just need to get to Africa.
They have rivers.
yeah.
Because I think what's going to happen is we're going to get there, and they're going to try to put us on some little fucking puddle jumper.
Right,
I'm not doing it, man. I will not get on there.
Screwed to the floor to keep the air out, and
Yep, exactly. Or they have the mesh bottoms
everybody's got their own oxygen tank.
where you can look down and you can see underneath, and you're like,
yeah, dude. I don't. I've been on a few of those little puddle jumpers, man, and they're never pleasant. The ones where if you can't stand up and walk in the plane, you know it's going to be a fucking ride.
Well, didn't we have to? When we went to Belize, we had to fly in another plane, right? We landed and had to fly again.
yeah,
We?
over to land in that little fucking place
Yeah.
where everybody let us off the plane with machine guns.
Yeah.
Oh, that's always fun too.
Get off, go down there.
That would be like the Congo. I mean, everywhere they have machine guns too to protect everybody. So that would be very similar.
Yeah, but you can buy your own 7-Eleven there, and you're good. You're covered.
Jeez Louise.
I probably wouldn't go. So okay.
47
I'm
in
going to
the
pass on that whole thing. We are now at 1 hour and 11 minutes. So at the 1:11, I'm going to go ahead and end the show. I appreciate everybody coming out and checking us out at the Croc Show. As always, thanks for coming back to support us on Thursday nights. It's great to be here, so it's kind of fun. It makes it a little easier on everyone, especially Jeff. At least he doesn't have to get up too early tomorrow. And we love seeing everybody. So thanks for coming out. Brittany, thanks for finally joining us 10 minutes before we're done.
I'm so,
And Jeff,
I'm so sorry.
always good to see you, my friend. I will be talking to you after the show. I will give you a call, or you can just, well, I'll end everything, and then I'll give you guys a call, and we'll talk with you. But I appreciate everybody coming out. Thanks again. Jamie, Seth, Chad, Michael, Craig, everybody that came in.
Go with everybody.
Everybody that was here tonight to talk to us. Thanks again, Tank. Good night. Everybody have a good time.
Thank you, guys.
And we look forward to seeing you next week.
Bye, everybody.
Good night, folks.